Hi, I'm Psychotic Mr. L, and welcome back to my channel. The game we're doing today is Elden Ring. The platinum for Elden Ring. There's 42 trophies. It takes, if it's your first time playing, it takes around 100 hours to get all of them. If it's like me, well, I'll just let you know this is actually going to be my 5th time playing through the game. I played it originally on Xbox back in the day when it came out and stuff. Got all the achievements on it back then. I loved it, absolutely enjoyed it, loved the game. So I'm very familiar with the game and where to go and what to do and how to do it and stuff like that. So I decided for this playthrough of the game that I do a sorcery build only, because I've never done a sorcery build only in any of the Souls games that I've ever played, Elden Ring or Bloodborne or Dark Souls or anything. So for this game, I'm going to do a Souls sorcery playthrough only. That being said, I'm also not going to do any summons as well for it, except for one part, but we'll get to that, and we'll get to that. But anyway, so like I said, it's 42 trophies. It takes roughly about 100 hours to get it if it's your first time. If you're like me, it takes about 40 hours to get it. Nothing really missable except for one legendary weapon that can cause you to miss a trophy. All the trophies can be done really in one playthrough. Essentially, the trophies are a bunch of boss fights for sure. Most of them are just defeating certain bosses. Doesn't have to be in any sort of order or anything like that, but just for defeating certain bosses. A good portion of the trophies is for getting all the legendary stuff in the game. This is all the legendary stuff right here and how many of them exist. So you just have to get all of those. Yeah, let's jump in. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, there's only one missable legendary weapon, but I will show it in the video. So there is also one quest line too with Ranni. Very important. You got to follow it. It has a lot of steps, and I will go over that in this video as well. So yeah, let's jump in. So the first thing I do in the game is pick the astrologer class, since I plan on being all sorcery for this playthrough. And then I name my character the best name ever. The best name ever. And then we get some video sequence stuff here where it just kind of briefly explains what's going on in the story. It's just the typical Miyazaki random story sequence, video sequence thing that always plays in the beginning of his games. But we don't really play these games for the story, so let's move on. I then run into the very first boss in the game, but pretty much right after that, I immediately just jump to my death anyways to move on with the story from here. Then from here, you run into Melina. She's pretty much like your little companion that you have throughout the entire campaign. Getting to the first area of the game, Limgrave, I'm just admiring the beauty of it. Then get to a site of grace, and from here I can get Torrent, which Millennia gives you after you find 2 sites of grace. She'll come here, she'll talk to you for a little bit and kind of go over a little bit of lore and stuff. But the most important thing is to accept her thing, and this way you get Torrent, which is the horse. I then go to this spot on the map in order to get the Physic Flask. It's a very important item. Make sure you get this right away, but it's very important. I then go to another site of grace where I talk to Millennia some more, and she's going to take me to some place called the Round Table Hold. Once going here, I unlock my very first achievement in the game for getting there. The Round Table Hold essentially is where you can upgrade your weapons and stuff. Right after that, I then go and get the Meteorite Staff, which is the staff I'm pretty much going to use for the rest of the game, along with the first spell I'm going to get, Rock Sling. With the combination of those two things, you're very strong very early in the game, so that's what I plan on using for this sorcery playthrough. I then go get a bunch of XP, or souls, or runes, or whatever you want to call them in this game, by killing this giant dragon over here. Pretty much just get any kind of bleed weapon and just keep hitting him over and over. It's going to take about 5 minutes or so, but eventually he will die, and he will drop a crap ton of runes that you can use to level up very quickly, very early in the game, in order for me to use the staff and be very strong with it. I then go to this location on the map. We were here earlier, but it's to talk to Ranni. Ranni is very important for stuff later in the game, especially for an achievement for one of the endings of the game. But right now, she gives you this bell thing, the spirit calling bell. This way you can call spirits and stuff like that. They're kind of like a summons you can use to help you fight in battle. My plan for this playthrough is to not use them at all, really, but we'll get there later. There is one, situation where I do. But for the most part, I'm not going to. Then we go to this location to get the very first legendary weapon in the game, Crafted Blade Greatsword, down here in the castle at the bottom of Limgrave. You just got to beat this boss right here, Misbegotten. For beating him, you will then get the weapon. I then go to this location to get Legendary Spirit Ash number 1, Tell the Headless. You just got to beat the boss there. He's one of those bosses that kind of hits really, really hard, but he has really low life, and he's very quick too. So just try to be as fast as you can, but beating him will unlock the Spirit Ash. I then go to this location on the map. It's to get a medallion. It's the first half of a medallion, so there's actually 2 of them that you need. This item's very important. Go here as fast as you can. Grab it up the ladder here. This way you can get to an area later in the game that's really important that you need to get to. I then go to this spot on the map in order to get a cookbook. This cookbook is going to come into play much later into the story, but essentially this cookbook gives you sleeping pots, which will come, well, like I said, be important later on in the story. I then go to this spot on the map to get legendary armament number 2, the Devourer's Scepter. Just go here, go to the cabin, and fight this NPC right here. He is kind of hard, he hits hard, but once you defeat him, you will get the Scepter, the next legendary weapon I get in the game. It's actually a pretty decent kind of weapon, too. I then continue on with the main story of the game, and this is when I run into the first major boss, Margit, the Fell Omen. He's really not that bad and just kind of dodges attacks and stuff. I use the rock singers a lot in order to hit him, but he really isn't that bad. The first time I ever played him, he was terrible, but this time he really, compared to everything else, really not that bad. Beating him also unlocks my next trophy in the game for doing so. Then shortly after him, I run into my next major boss in the game, Godric the Grafted. Honestly, he's really not that bad. I dealt with him kind of right away, and that's when I unlocked my next trophy in the game for beating him as well. Now, if you notice, Godric drops something called Great Rune, so you follow this path along here, you kind of go to this bridge, and you kind of go across it. There'll be a teleporter here to help you get to the other side, where this tower is. At the very top of the tower, you're going to run over to this thing here and interact with it. This will fully restore the power of the Great Rune and get me my next trophy in the game for doing that. I then get to the next major area of the game, known as Liurnia of the Lakes. Sorry, I'm going to pronounce that terribly wrong. But when I first get there, I'm going to go to this location right here. This is a shortcut to get to Volcano Manor, the quickest way. You go here, you talk to this girl right here, and she kind of gives you a little quest to go and get her a necklace. Just right over here in this spot is the guy who has the necklace. So once you go there, just kind of talk to him. He's going to be next to this like bowl of cooking seafood or lobster or something. But anyways, talk to him, and then you can buy the necklace from him for 1,000 runes, return it back to her, and then she will give you an envelope or like an invitation that you can use to quickly fast travel to Volcano Manor. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing in this game is getting another medallion piece. This is one of 4. There's 4 medallion pieces in this game. You need 2 of them for everything. But in this location, from this side of Grace, you're just going to follow this path right here all the way up to the top. When you get up here, there's going to be this guy hiding in like a pot kind of thing. You just kind of want to roll on it. It's lit up over here. He will be there. You can talk to him or just kill him. I just talk to him. But he will give you a medallion piece. I then go to this spot on the map. There's a key here you have to grab to get to the next area. It's hidden behind this dragon right here that I kind of just, throw rocks at its face. But pretty much right behind the dragon, I go ahead and I kill the dragon right here. For some reason, I waste time doing this. I'm not really sure as to why, but I do. So yes, I kill this dragon, like I said before. I don't know why I put it in this video, but I do it. So anyways, here's the key. Go ahead and grab this. This is important in order to get to an area later, or that kind of an area we're going to go to right now. So in that area that you have to use the key, which is the gigantic castle in the center, is the next boss you fight, Red Wolf of Radagon. I beat him and get my next trophy in the game for defeating him. Then shortly after the Red Wolf, I run into the next major boss in the game, Ranni. She has 2 phases. The first phase, you kind of just kill these little witch things on the floor that have the glowing golden circle around their head. There'll be 3 of them. After you kill all 3 of them, you can then run over and actually hit the real Ranni. Then after this will be phase 2, where she's definitely harder. She's not really one of the harder bosses in the game, but she's harder in phase 2, that's for sure. She just does a lot of spells. Make sure you run to the right of her right here in the very beginning, because she'll always do that spell right off rip. But as you can see, my damage is very low and hers is very high. So yeah, the sorcery playthrough against her, not good. So I come back later. Alright, I then go to this spot on the map to get legendary armament number 3, the Sword of Night and Flame, which is actually a really cool, nice weapon as well. But on the second floor of this area, you just kind of go by these guys here. I'm going to show you exactly where it is. Kind of get lost for a second. I'm like, where the hell am I going? So I fight the guys. But anyways, it's going to be over here. I go around here for some reason, because once again, I don't really remember where it is, but I believe it's down there. No, I go over here too. Okay, I knew it was on one of these rooftops. I was just looking for the right one, because I couldn't remember which one it was. Because I remembered where it was, but I kind of didn't remember where it was. And I didn't want to look up a video to see where it was. I wanted to see if my brain would work like it's supposed to. Yeah, so it's down here. Jump down here onto the roof. Jump down here again. There's going to be this hole or this ladder. Just go down the ladder. I look around to see if there's any enemies. There isn't, thank God. And then I just run over here, open this chest, and there's a weapon. In that same area, I fight my next boss, Royal Knight Loretta. She's easy. She's not that bad. There's one later that's harder, but beating her unlocks my next trophy in the game. After beating Loretta, you can then go to this area on the map. This is to start Ranni's questline. This is step number 1 right here. She has a lot of steps. I'm going to go over all of them in this video, but this is step 1. Essentially, you just have to go to this spot after Loretta, go all the way up the tower right here, and she will be sitting at the very top. Ranni, I mean. You just need to speak to her, make sure that you exhaust all of her dialogue to the point where she starts repeating herself, and then we can move on with step 2. For step 2 of Ranni's questline, you're going to go down to the bottom here. Talk to these 3 ghosts. That's pretty much about it. Just talk to them and exhaust all their dialogue. Step 3, go back up to Ranni at the top of her tower and just exhaust all of her dialogue once again. For step 4, you're then going to want to go to this spot on the map. This is a giant elevator that'll pretty much take you to this underground area on the map, and you need to talk to Blad, I can't pronounce his name, this badass looking wolf guy. But go to that location, talk to him, and exhaust all of his dialogue. For step 5, you want to go to this tower that's just below Ranni's tower. So here's Ranni's tower, and here's the other tower. You're going to run over here. You're going to talk to this guy. He was also one of the ghosts at the bottom of Ranni's tower. Go there and exhaust all of his dialogue until he gives you this item right here. Then for step 6 of Ranni's questline, you're wanting to go to here. There's a sorcerer here at the bottom of that area. There's also a boss you have to fight, but after you fight the boss, you can then talk to her. Pretty much just kind of go over the options here for talking. Make sure you exhaust all of her dialogue. Then after that, return to Blad for Ranni's questline step number 7. He'll be in the same spot he was in before. Just kind of talk to him here as well. Exhaust his dialogue. He's going to tell you about Radon and a festival and stuff like that. Now, while down there in that area with Blad, there's 8 braziers you have to light on fire. So this is the first one right here. As you can see next to it, there's a staircase to the right. Each time you light one of the braziers, it's going to light one of the little stone pillar things that's on that staircase. So there are 8 of them you have to light. So here I'm going to light the first one, and you see the little thing light in the background on the staircase. Well, that's how you know they're working. So lighting all 8 unlocks a boss that you have to fight for an achievement, for a trophy. So here's number 2 brazier, number 2 right here. I then go to this spot to get brazier number 3. Then this spot to get brazier number 4. The next one is brazier number 5, located at this spot. And then brazier number 6, that is located over here. Then I get brazier number 7, which is also kind of located over here, not too far from number 6. Then the final one, brazier number 8, which is located on a little island in the center here. Somehow I ran past that first. After you get the 8th and final one, though, a little message will pop up saying pretty much that you got all 8, and now the boss is ready to fight. There it is. So now back at brazier number 1, as you can see here, the stairway is fully lit over to the right. So right up there is the boss. At the top of the stairway, we'll run into this deer body corpse ring. That is the boss. Just kind of interact with it, and then we'll get right to the boss fight. Not that bad. Just kind of do a lot of long range attacks on him, and just kind of, you know, dodge his fire attacks and his jumping attacks. But eventually I do beat him, and then that's my next trophy in the game for doing so. I then get back to working on Ranni's questline with step number 8, going to this castle located here on the map. There's a quick way to get in here. Just kind of run over this little teleporter here. That's all the way on the other side of the bridge. Trust me, this is the easiest way to get in here. Just do this. It's worth it. But once in here, you're going to see like this festival going on. You're going to see all these people here. And there's the cool-ass, badass wolf guy sitting over there, as you can see. So I kind of run up to him. I talk to him. Make sure to exhaust all of his dialogue. He's just going to kind of say he's going to join you in the battle. But this is where we get introduced to Radon. He's one of the more badass looking, you know, bosses in the game. I mean, look at him. He's kind of cool looking, right? But he is very unique in the sense of how you fight him compared to other bosses. There are a bunch of guys you can summon to help you in this fight, which I kind of did and didn't do on a couple of tries. But yeah, so just kind of run around him and his horse, just kind of hit him. But eventually I do defeat him, and that's my next trophy in the game for doing so. Now, because of defeating him, you're going to get this video sequence here. It's going to open up a new spot on the map. All of this is, well, kind of story related for the main story, but also part of Ranni's questline as well. This is still all part of step 8. So for Ranni's questline, step number 9, continuing right from where you beat Radon at his site as Grace. As you can see, Blad is right here. Just make sure you talk to him, exhaust all of his dialogue right here. Then for step number 10 for Ranni's questline, you want to go to this specific Ever Jail that's on the map. Blad's going to be in it. Just kind of run up to it, start talking to him. I defeated the guy that's in this Ever Jail earlier in my playthrough, so right here you can just free him. If not, you have to actually fight the guy who's in it, the boss. But if you already beat the boss, you can just free him right here. So that's what I do. Then run up and exhaust all of his dialogue again. For step 11, you're then going to go to this spot on the map and talk to this giant armor guy right here. I can't remember his name, but talk to him and exhaust all of his dialogue about Blad. For Ranni's questline, step number 12, you're going to want to go to this red spot that's on the map. It only appeared in that video sequence after you beat Radon. It's a giant meteor crater that appeared here. Follow this path right here to get to the next location where we're going to be able to continue Ranni's questline. The first boss you run into in this new area is the Mimic. It's kind of easy. Just kind of go in there naked or with no weapons on, and then just quickly equip him after he spawns, and he's pretty easy. He can only fight you with your fists. But beating him unlocks my next trophy. In this new area, there's also 6 braziers for another boss. Here's number 1. This is number 2 in this new area for braziers. This is the location of number 3. This is the location of brazier number 4. This is the location of brazier number 5. And then this is the location of brazier number 6. Notice after you light this last brazier, it gives the same message like the other 8 did before. So what you do is then go to this spot on the map to find another one of those deer bosses, like the corpses. Here it is right here. Same thing, just kind of interact with it, and yeah, you're pretty much just going to have pretty much the same exact boss fight over again. This one just hits a little harder, has a little bit more health. It also has an ability that makes it heal itself, so make sure you try killing it pretty much as fast as you can. But as you can see, the heal right there, yeah. Anyways, so I just keep fighting it, hitting it from really far away with giant rocks, and that seems to do the trick. And beating it is my next trophy in the game for doing so. Now, continuing Ranni's questline, this is step number 13, is to go to this side of Grace over here. As you can see at the side of Grace, there's like this city down here you can see. Jump onto the rooftops. Your goal here is to work your way down to the bottom. On the way down there, I get my next legendary Spirit Ash in the game, which is the Mimic tier, and is definitely the most overpowered Spirit Ash in the entire game, to be honest with you. You're going to need a Stone Sword key while you're down here as well in order to get it, but it's going to be over here. You do have to pass into this room, the bigger room we were just in order to get down to the bottom of the city anyway, so it's not really that missable, but it's over to the far left side of that room, if that makes any sense, inside of this chest. For step number 14 of Ranni's questline, in the same area, just at the bottom of the city here, I just kind of run past all the enemies here, but you're going to be at that side of grace, and you're going to run all the way down here. Watch out for that last one. That last one turns into a gigantic ghoul guy. But open up this chest, and there's going to be this item in here that you have to get for Ranni, the Finger Slayer Blade. There's also a level 10 flower thing that'll upgrade one of your Spirit Ashes to max level, so get that as well. Well, you're going to get it when you grab it, but it's useful. Step 15, then return to Ranni, talk to her, exhaust all of her dialogue again, and then make sure you give her the item that you had just gotten from that chest from step 14. She'll then give you this item. Looks kind of like an hourglass kind of thing. That's going to be for the next step that we're going to do, step 16. So step 16, you're going to want to go to here, this tower on the map. So pretty much take that hourglass, go over to this, like, this, I can't remember what this is called, the globe. Go over to this globe and put the hourglass thing down. It's going to show this little video sequence here. Essentially what this is going to do, though, is take this tower and it's going to completely flip it upside down. This way you can continue the quest line while it's flipped upside down. So while you're in the tower, which is step 16, your goal is to actually go all the way to the right to this tower over here, but you can only do it once you turn everything upside down. So step 17 is getting to that tower. Here's the elevator right here. You just take it all the way to the top. It's pretty self-explanatory. And at the top is this item, so make sure you grab that for step 17. For step 18 of Ranni's questline, you're going to return to her tower where she was. You'll notice she's gone, and there's now a site of grace here, so make sure you go ahead and use it. Now for step 19 of Ranni's questline, you're going to want to go to this tower that's over here. Sorry, this is literally the only frame in all of my videos I have of this tower. So that's why it's just circled instead of zooming in and out and stuffy. But you're going to want to go to this tower right here for step 19. In the tower, you're just going to want to go to the top of it. At the very top, you're going to find a box that you have to open. It's kind of an exact duplicate of Ranni's tower. There's her outfit right there too if you want to grab that. But you're going to go up here, and here's this portal right here. You're going to use that for step 19. Then for step 20 right afterwards, straight ahead, you're going to find a little doll that looks like Ranni. Make sure you take it over to the side of grace over here and immediately start talking to it. You're going to want to exhaust all the dialogue that the doll has. And you're going to have to click on it quite a few times until the doll starts actually talking back to you. So make sure you do that, and then make sure you exhaust all the dialogue of the doll itself. After that, I then returned to Ranni to try to give her another shot. This is way further in my playthrough, so evidently I'm a lot stronger. As you can see, I'm actually doing a lot more damage to her on every hit. So yeah, this time I do end up defeating her, and that's my next trophy in the game. Honestly, she's really not that bad of a boss, but there are certain circumstances she can be a pain in the ass. I then get legendary talisman number 1 of 8, Radagon's Source Seal. It's located in this castle over here, located on the map. Pretty much just run in here. You're going to have to run past some bats. Just watch out. They hit really hard, and they spew poisonous gas all over the damn place. So I just run past them and go up the ladder. As you can see, I pretty much got poisoned almost. Or I did get poisoned. I don't really remember. I think I did. I also grabbed that medallion while I'm up here as well. That medallion's important for stuff that we're going to have to go to later involving the hardest boss in the game. But we'll get to that. So make sure you grab that medallion. But anyways, the Source Seal is down in this second hole. Make sure you jump down here. You're going to want to run over to the edge over here and do this little like jump trick kind of thing. Trick jump, and then jump down here. And there it is. I then go to this location on the map to get legendary sorcery number 1, Kamadazora. A very powerful sorcery. Believe me, you're going to see me use it a lot in a lot of the boss fights for this video. But anyway, you want to follow this path along here from that first side of Grace all the way around the mountain until you get over this little town area here, and that's where it's going to be. So when you get to that town, you're going to run over to this side of Grace right there. Talk to this guy, and all you have to do is pretty much interact with him, and he gives it to you. Spell. Just talk to him about he's dead, you'll drop a spell afterwards. It's a legendary sorcery 2. Now, this is Volcano Manor, located in the center of that mountain. Sorry, once again, this is somehow the only frame that I have of the location. But it's in the center of that mountain where Commodore was. This is the next location I go. And in that location, this is the first boss that I run into, the Golden Noble, Golden Godskin Noble. He's just a, well, as you can see, he's a fat bastard. But anyways, I just kind of hit him over and over again, eventually killing him and getting my next trophy for doing so. Now, shortly after that boss is when I run into the next boss, Rykard. Make sure you grab this weapon right here. I missed it on my very first playthrough. It was pathetic. But that weapon is essential for beating him, as it's really the only weapon that really does damage to Rykard. And Rykard does have 2 phases. So the first phase, you're just kind of fighting this giant snake thing here. And like I said, make sure you use that weapon. But the second phase is a lot more creepier looking. You know, snakes are just kind of creepy in general, but cool at the same time. I like snakes, but this is just creepy. But the weapon is cool and also creepy because it has a bunch of hands on it. But anyway, that's the real Rykard. Once again, you need to still use that same weapon. As you can see, I just keep kind of doing heavy attacks on him over and over again with it. And trust me, on this playthrough, it was a lot harder to do than I thought it would be because I was in a sorcery playthrough and it was not doing as much damage as it used to do on my other playthroughs. Believe that. But just keep hitting him with it, and defeating him is my next trophy in the game for doing so. Holy shit. Wow, that was way more rage-inducing than it needed to be. Holy crap. So now moving on to the main story, I'm trying to get to Lindell, the capital city in the middle of the map, kind of in the middle of the map. But that's where I'm going to go to next. But first I have to get past this butthole known as DTS, you know? More like STD if you ask me, but yeah. Anyways, you got to get past him first to get in there. He's a real butthole, trust me. Getting into the city, as you can see, I actually like this part right here. I love this part. You run up and you just see the gigantic air tree and everything like it. Just, I don't know, just beautifully stunning. I remember the first time getting here, my first original playthrough, I was absolutely just taken in by the environment and the scenery and everything. I absolutely loved it. Running in this area, the first major boss is Godfrey, first Elder Lord. It's kind of this ghost, kind of. He's all gold. He's kind of easy, though. I enjoy fighting him. He's fine and fun. But after defeating him, I get my next trophy in the game for doing so. Then immediately after him, you run into the real Margaret of the game. So there's kind of 2. One was an illusion from him, but not really. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Don't pay attention to it. It's Dark Souls lore, so, you know, it is what it is. But anyways, he fights very similar to how you fought him in the beginning of the game. I just kind of do the same thing. I just kind of throw rocks at him and stuff. Doesn't do as much damage as I hope it would do, but it does do good stagger damage when it needs to. It helps out a lot, actually, when I get that on him. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do for the whole fight, is I just kind of sit back and chuck rocks at him, and it ends up working, which is kind of sad, because fighting him with melee weapons is actually really fun. He is a really fun boss to fight. But defeating him gets my next trophy in the game. Yeah! Not that it was... So after defeating him, I run up to the Ur-Tree, and I kind of try to get into it, and the Ur-Tree's like, nah, fuck off, you know? So I go and talk to her at the site of Grace, and she kind of tells me there's a mission we need to go do. She comes back. She's like, hey, listen, there's this thing we have to go do. Let's go do that. It involves burning down something. After that, I then decide to get legendary armament number 4, the Bolt of Gransax? Anyways, this is the only missable legendary weapon as far as I know in the game, or only missable legendary anything in the game. So you go back to Godfrey's room where you fought him. You run out there. You run down this elevator. Make sure you get it, because after a certain part in the story, you cannot come back here and get it. And you have to kind of do a little bit of like a trick jump, a little bit right here, to jump down and land on this little balcony. From there, you jump down, you land on this gigantic spear, and you're going to find it actually right here. following the story path, I then get to the giant elevator where you have to use the medallion that Melina had just given to you. I'm sorry, for some reason I just do not have an image of where it's located on the main map or anything like that. I was having difficulty uploading it, but it is there, trust me. You'll then get to this area called Mountaintop of the Giants, and it's going to be my first legendary weapon here, the Eclipse Shotel, located over in Castle Sol at the top of the map. As far as other types of... Continuing on with the main story, I then run into the Fire Giant. He is just a pain in the balls. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or anything. He's just annoying. Not fun to fight. Hits really, really hard. And essentially, this is the whole fight. You're watching it. Just kind of hit his feet and continue hitting his feet. And he'll get so annoyed of you hitting his feet that he'll rip off his own foot. So then you got to hit his hand and keep hitting his hand and keep hitting his hand. Then go back to his feet. I mean, there's really nothing special to him except this. Just this is literally the whole fight, what you're watching right here. And it takes forever because he has a shit ton of health. Like an insane, insane amount of health. But after the long grind, I eventually do defeat him, and that's my next trophy in the game. Oh. Alright, so that was the Fire Giant. Like I said in the video, absolutely boring boss. It's very, very boring. Hate that fight. A lot of people, when it first came out, hated that fight. Just a stupid boss. But anyways, after you do defeat that boss, the next site of grace is going to be on the gigantic cauldron thing where the Fire Giant was when you defeat him. There'll be a site of grace all the way at the top of there. It's going to give you an option to do something to move forward with the story. So I am going to go get the site of grace, I do, but I'm not going to move forward with the story yet. I leave that option there, and I recommend you do it too, just in case you missed anything, including that weapon that I mentioned earlier that you could miss. But from here, I just start working on other stuff, getting a bunch of other legendary stuff, doing more Ranni questline stuff, just anything that I could physically work on before having to move forward with the physical story. I then returned to Castle Sol to fight a boss. Don't ask me why I didn't just do this when I got the legendary weapon, but it's to fight this bastard right here, Commander O'Neill. He's a pain in the ass. As you can see, I'm using a Comet Azor like I said I would. Look how overpowered it is. It's pretty overpowered, not gonna lie. I mean, I did the job, killed two guys and brought him down halfway. And then I just kind of abuse it for the rest of the fight because of just how overpowered it is. This guy is a pain. He can be a pain. He is kind of fun to fight, though, at the same time. So it's kind of like in a rock and a hard place. But defeating him is my next trophy in the game for doing so. Right after defeating him, at the back of the castle, you can only get here after defeating him, is another medallion. Right after that, I then go for Legendary Talisman number 2 of 8, Moon of Nakastella. It's located in this location. Once again, sorry for the image I have of the location. It's very terrible, but it's in the underground area. It's up these stairs. It's actually a pretty far distance from the site of grace, so I'm showing you the whole thing here. But going up the stairs, I get really past all these enemies. Keep going this way, up these stairs. There's actually going to be a boulder guy over here. I kind of fight it and kill that too, because, you know, screw it. Why? Just kill everything in this game. It's freaking Elden Ring. It's what you're supposed to do, is fight and kill things. But from there, you're going to go up some more stairs that are over here. Just keep going upstairs. There's going to be more enemies. I'm going to run into this building right here. I'm going to clear it all out first. I'm not going to waste time showing all that nonsense. But after I clear it out, I open this chest for some reason to pick up a Somber Stone, and then I keep moving on with my life. Keep going up these stairs. There's more enemies here. There is a lot of enemies in this room coming up here, so I kill all of them to wipe them out first, so you guys don't have to watch me waste time with that nonsense. But then in the back here is where the legendary item's finally located, the Moon of Nakastella. I then go to this area located in the underground area as well to defeat this boss. Once again, Comet Azor. Yeah, this is how silly it is. But beating that boss in this one hit gets me my next trophy in the game. Now, in the same underground area, I do Ranni's questline number step 21. And unfortunately for this one, well, we have to fight Blad, the big badass looking wolf guy, and we have to kill him. I try to do Comet Azor on him here. As you can see, he kind of dodges around and stuff, so I do my boulders and stuff. He is kind of tough. He hits pretty hard, but not that bad. Just I fight him from a distance, so he's really not that bad. But trust me, melee on him sucks. Then he'll drop this key after defeating him, so make sure you get that. That's important for going forward with the quest line. So for step number 22, return to where Ranni was, and there's going to be this chest in here. Use that same key to open the chest, then make sure you grab the item in. Now, for Ranni's questline, step 23, I come here known as the Lake of Rot. In order to get here after you beat Blad in your little duel or fight, there's a little cave or a tunnel that actually leads to this area. So this is step 23, is to come here. This area is annoying. But at the end of this area, you're going to fight to this boss right here, Astel. Man, this boss is just creepy looking. I don't even know how else to describe it. It's cool / fascinating / creepy. But beating it is my next trophy in the game. Ooh. Okay, that didn't take nowhere near. For step 24 of Ranni's questline, you're going to go here on the map. You only get to this area after defeating Astel. In the church, you're going to want to jump all the way down here and just follow this path through the cave. So when you get to the very end, you'll notice there's a pair of dead two fingers or whatever they're called. And Ranni's sitting there just kind of poached up on this tree underneath the dead two fingers. Go ahead and interact with her. You're going to end up putting that ring that you grabbed on her finger. This is going to be important later. But now her quest line is officially done. There's nothing else to do until you get to the end of the game, and you have to make your choice for the ending. So she'll pop up to you, she'll talk to you for a second or two here, just pretty much go through all of her dialogue until she disappears. But her quest line is officially done after doing all that. Then for finishing her quest line, you're also rewarded with the next legendary weapon I get in the game, known as the Dark Moon Greatsword. This weapon is absolutely freaking awesome. I love this weapon, and pretty much from here on out, I'm going to be using it for the rest of my playthrough, because that's how awesome that freaking weapon is. I love it. Alright, Ranni's questline is officially done. I know there was a lot of steps on that questline. Thank you so much for sticking through with it. Like 29 steps or whatever it was, 25 steps, I don't even remember. A lot of steps. But now I got the Dark Moon Greatsword, which is just an awesome weapon. I've never used it before in any other Souls game. It's actually in every Souls game, in Elden Ring and Bloodborne and stuff, but I've never actually used it before. So pretty much for the rest of this playthrough, I'm going to use it because I'm doing a sorcery build. So I might as well use like probably the best sorcery weapon in the game that you can use. That's also a melee weapon. It's awesome. But anyways, once again, from here on out, I'm still going to focus on just getting the rest of the legendary stuff for those trophies and focusing on opening up new areas and focusing on getting things ready for the different endings of the game before I move back to the main story. And if you had been following this video as a helper you in any way in your playthrough and you're doing Ranni's quest lines, there's actually a lot of stuff locked behind doing her quest line in order to get other trophies like talismans and weapons and bosses, and just a lot of stuff locked behind doing her quest line. So her quest line is very important to the main game and the trophy list as a whole. So if you followed it up to this point, then you should be okay. I then go for Legendary Sorcery and Incantation number 2 of 7, Ranni's Dark Moon. It's also located up here in the back corner in this area, this church. To get in there, there's 3 turtles that you have to kill before you can get in here. So it's kind of like a little puzzle. Turtle number 1 is right near the tower. You're just going to go to the right side of the tower, and it's kind of just going to be hanging off the cliff over here. It's actually a pretty gigantic turtle. It's kind of hard to miss like I do here, as you can see, for a few seconds. But as you can see, it's right there. It's pretty huge. It's not that small. That's the one. Turtle number 2 is going to be located over here on the opposite side of the area. You want to take this path up the top of the cliff to then look over the cliff where I am right here. As you can see, I'm going to come over here with Torrent, and it's going to be kind of like hanging off. They're not really hanging like the other bigger turtle just was, but as you stare down the end of the cliff, it's going to be just below you, a platform that you can't get to on your own unless you're up here. But go ahead and kill that turtle real quick like I do, and then we can move on to the third one. For the third turtle, it's going to be all the way over here by this Everjail. This one's probably the easiest one to find and get. It's just kind of floating in the air. Use this air tornado vent thing with torrent, jump into it. You'll automatically jump into the turtle, killing it, and opening the door to the tower. So once you return to the tower, go all the way to the top of it, open this chest right here, and that's where you'll get the legendary incantation and sorcery for Ranni's Dark Moon. I then go to this area in Lindell, the capital city. Sorry, once again, I had gotten up in the middle of it, so the video isn't really moving or anything, so it's just where the circle area is. But it's to go into the sewer system area of the map. It's a little tricky to find, but it's generally over by this side of Grace that I have circled. Down there, I run into Moog. He is a pain in the ass, and this is actually the first of 2 Moogs, and this is the easier of 2 Moogs. And he's still a pain in the ass. But as you can see, I use a combination of the brand new, Dark Moon Greatsword that I unlocked, along with the Comet Azora that I've been using throughout the playthrough. And yeah, beating him is my next trophy in the game. Also, beating him is important for an ending later, but we'll get to that.
Thank you. Bye.
I then get legendary armament number 6 of 9, Rune's Greatsword. It's actually just in the same place where you go to the festival for Radon. Just come back here after defeating Radon. I don't know exactly how much time needs to go by, or you can just do it right away, but there'll be a boss fight in here with 2 bosses, and defeating them both gets you the legendary weapon. I then go for legendary armament number 7, Mira's Executioner's Sword in this location. At the top of the castle, you're going to fight this boss right here. I hate this boss, I'm not going to lie. I hate him a lot. But defeating him gets my next trophy and the weapon. I then go for legendary sorcery and incantation number 3, Grey Rule's Roar. Just go here. It's kind of like a little shop. You go here, interact with it. You just need to trade 3 dragon hearts for it. By now, you probably should have 3 if you're doing a story or whatever. If not, just go look for some dragons in the area or whatever, kill them, get some dragon hearts. But just trade 3 dragon hearts for it. That's really it, and then you can get it. I then go here for legendary sorcery and incantation number 4, Flame of the Fell God. Sorry, once again, something happened with the map, but go to this Everjail, fight this boss, kill him, you get the sorcery. Now I'm going to head over to a new area on the map, but in order to get there, you first have to go here, back to this underground area, and to this side of Grace. If you were doing exploring down here while getting the second deer boss, you'd find it. But from there, eventually you'll run into this gargoyle, and actually it's 2 of them at the same time. Doesn't that sound fun? Yay. But defeating them gets my next trophy in the game, also unlocking the next area where I'm going to go.
I'll take it, because that was...
So, from the side of Grace where the gargoyles were, get up, run over here. You're going to see this coffin laying in the waterfall area over here. Just get in it, interact with it. You'll get a little small video sequence. That'll take you down to this underground area where I'll get legendary sorcery and incantation number 5, Elden Stars. So you're going to want to follow this path right here. From this path, don't go over here. For some reason, I went over there and I died, so as you can see, I'm grabbing my souls. But anyways, or my runes as they're called in this game. I'm still used to calling them souls. But follow this path, go along the giant tree branches here. There are going to be some enemies, and they do shoot crap at you, if I remember correctly, and there's a bunch of ants and stuff. I just run past all of them, to be honest, because I just want to get the damn sorcery. So I just run past all of them, keep on running, and it's going to be right here. Now, for legendary sorcery incantation, 6 out of 7, Founding Rain of Stars, you're going to go to this tower here, but there's actually an invisible bridge you have to go over. So the side of Grace that's over here is where I spawn. Just follow this path directly and you'll have no problem getting there. Took me a couple tries to kind of figure it out, but I run with torrent all the way to the wall. I then get off torrent and I roll back twice. You can immediately turn right to go up the stairs, and then now you'll be in this room. There are some enemies up here. Actually, one of them killed me one time. That's why my runes are on the floor there. But the sorcery itself is going to be at the top of the tower and not at the bottom. For some reason, I go to the bottom, which is the exit first. Yeah, don't go there. You want to go to the top, but at the top is where you'll find the incantation and sorcery inside of a chest or just laying there. I'm trying to remember now. I think it was in a chest. Might be just laying there. But either which way, it's at the top of this tower. Now, for my final legendary sorcery and incantation, number 7, Stars of Ruin, there's some things you have to do here. First, go to this location and talk to the sorceress here. I believe you had to interact with her earlier before part of a other quest line or achievement I was working on. Now I can't remember. But talk with her until she gives you this item right here. After talking to her and exhausting all of her dialogue, she should give you this item, and you shouldn't have any trouble getting it. Then, you're going to want to go over to this area right here on the map. It's at the bottom of this cliff, not at the top where that castle is. Go to this area. There's going to be an invisible wall here, unlocking a new cave area. You're going to want to go in here. In here, from the site of Grace, follow this path right here. I know it's very dark in here. I should have had the lantern on. That's my bad. But follow this path. You're going to get to this room with the giant crystals, and you're going to jump down to the bottom. There is going to be a guy down here to fight. He's not that hard. I kind of hide behind a rock for a second, let him do his attack on me, and then I just kind of attack him and kill him in like 2 hits. So he's really not that hard, but he's down here guarding this door over here. Go in here, interact with the door, talk to the dead body of this guy. He's going to give you the last sorcery and my next trophy in the game for getting all sorceries. I then go to this location to get Legendary Spirit Ashes, 3 of 6, Red Mane Knight Oga. You can only get this location after beating Radon. It is a catacombs over here, and you just have to defeat the boss. So just get through the catacombs, defeat the boss, and you'll get that Legendary Spirit Ash. Then I go for Legendary Armament number 8 of 9, known as Black Knife. It's going to be over at this castle over here. It's going to be this boss sitting outside. He's kind of annoying. As you can see, I use my handy Comet Azor to defeat him, and defeating him gives me that legendary weapon. Now, with that same church where he was just at, to get Legendary Spirit Ash number 4 of 6, Ancient Dragon Knight Kristoff, you're going to want to go into the church, and you're going to take the elevator down to it. All the way down. Get through it until you get to the boss, defeat the boss, and then you'll get the Legendary Spirit Ash. Then I go for Legendary Talisman 3 of 8, Radagon's Icon. From here, actually, it's something you can get quite early in the game. I completely missed it. You go back to the site of Grace where you fought the giant red dog from earlier, jump outside, go to the right, climb up this ladder, and then go onto the second floor. I actually go to the wrong side first, so it's on the right side as you enter, not the left, but it's going to be over here in this chest. I then go for Legendary Talisman number 4 of 8, Godfrey Icon. It's going to be at this Everjail here. It's actually literally just Godfrey all over again. He's the boss. Exactly the same, pretty much. I didn't notice any difference. Just defeat him, and then that's how you get the Legendary Talisman. I then go for Legendary Armament number 9 of 9, Golden Order Greatsword. It's going to be located in this cave over here. It's just a much harder version of Misbegotten from earlier with the legendary weapon, but defeating him unlocks the weapon and my next trophy for getting all legendary armaments.
That was my trophy for all.
Now, after that, I'm going to go to this area. There's going to be a teleporter here to take me to the next area I want to go to. Pretty much Moog's Dynasty, where you fight the real Moog. But first, you have to get past this red-named enemy in order to get in there. But as you can see, I defeat him, go to the teleporter over here, and it's going to teleport me to that new unlocked area. In that new area where Moog is, you're going to follow the main path until you get to a cave. You'll come out the other end of the cave, and there'll be the site of grace here. Follow the path up here to these stairs, and there's going to be a legendary crafting material or upgrade material. I quickly grab it there because there's a bunch of enemies, but that's it right there. I take it back to the armor at the round table hold. I use it to fully upgrade my weapon and get my next trophy for that. I then go to this location on the map. This is to get a tier that's really important for defeating Moog. There is a red-named enemy in here. He is kind of hard. Make sure you beat him. Well, you have to beat him. I guess you don't have to beat him. Oh, no, you do have to beat him. Never mind. You have to beat him for him to drop the item. But it's called Purifying Crystal Tier. This is very important for defeating Moog. It makes it to where one of his strongest abilities is weak. I then go to this Everjail for the legendary Spirit Ashes Black Knife Teach or Tithe. I don't know. But you just have to defeat him, and you get that Spirit Ash for defeating him.
Cool.
I then return to this underground area of the map and to this side of Grace to fight a boss that's here. It's a dragon. The dragon's cool. I mean, he's all black with red lightning. I mean, what's not to like? I mean, he's badass. But anyways, defeating him unlocks my next trophy in the game for doing so. And as you can see, that Moonlight Sword is just coming in handy.
Yeah.
Now, just real quick about this black dragon you just saw me fight, and I just killed and got a trophy for doing so. I do apologize. There actually is a quest related to this dragon. It's very convoluted, and somehow I do not have the footage for it, or the footage got lost in translation within my videos. I don't know. I couldn't find it. There is a quest for it. None of it is missable, though, from what I understand and what I looked up and everything like that. But it does involve talking to that lady back at Round Table Hold, getting the hug from her. You don't really have to get the hug from her, I think, but the lady that gives you the hug. That lady that's randomly in a bedroom. So the quest starts with her. It's kind of a semi-long quest, nowhere near as long as Ranni's quest, but there are quite a few steps to it. Do apologize. I ended up doing it without even realizing that I was doing most of the quests, so while I was playing, so if that answers any of your questions, I hope it does. So I do apologize once again. Sorry about that, but there is a quest that helps you get there, but honestly, I don't believe any of it's missable, just so you know. I then go to this area on the map. I'm only literally coming here for a boss fight. You don't really need to come in here, but go there, go up the dungeon, go all the way to the top to it. You'll see this magma worm guy here. Defeat him, and yeah, that's my next trophy in the game for doing so.
GG.
Now, I'm trying to get to another new area of the map known as the Hail Tree. In order to get there, you need to go this area, and you need to do 3 statues. So to get to statue number 1, first run all the way to the back, activate the small little Everjail thing here, run over here and go up the ladder. Statue number 1 is going to be up here. You just need to interact with it. Statue number 2 is in the center of the city, and then right by statue number 2 is another ladder. Crawl up the top here, and then you're going to watch out for these guys on the roof. Trust me, they are a pain in the bum. But just jump on the roof here, ignore them, try to get past them, kill them, do whatever you got to do, because they hit really hard, and I was really struggling with them. But at the top here is going to be number 3. And then number 4 was back where number 2 was, but going up the first ladder, there's a second ladder. Interact with statue number 4. This will unlock this door over here, where now you can see this portal. And then you can use this portal to get to the new area of the game. I then go back to continuing on with the main story, so I go fast travel back to where we fought the fire giant earlier. I go all the way to the top of the giant cauldron thing, to this side of Grace, and I interact with it. Pretty much from here continuing the story, and Melina sacrifices herself in order to continue the story. She does whatever she has to do, and she gets lit on fire, and thus that also somehow burns down the Ur tree. Once again, lore-related things that you don't really quite understand, but she kills herself and burns down Ur tree, and my next trophy's unlocked for doing it. Now, in the new area that you go to after burning down the Ur tree, this is the first major boss fight that you're going to run into. The Godskin Duo. They are a pain in the ass. Now, if you remember earlier in the video, I showed you where to get the cookbook for the sleeping pots. This is the entire reason why right here. Literally this boss fight. As you can see, I hit them with the sleeping pots. They fall asleep. I just use Common Azura on them. And good game. I mean, they literally can't do much to you after that. And yeah, so I just kind of do that over and over again. Sleeping pot, Common Azura. Sleeping pot, Common Azura. And after defeating both of them, that's my next trophy in the game.
Ooh, that was a close call with that one.
Alright, so the Godskin Duo, officially done, over with. So now I'm going to go back to not working on a story again. Pretty much after the Godskin Duo, there isn't really that much left to the main story. There's like 3 more boss fights and that's it. Not really much left to explore or go do. So from here on out, before I finish with the main story, I'm going to go do some more side stuff and set some more stuff up. So I'm going to go to the Hail Tree, which I unlocked earlier, but now I'm actually going to go there now. I'm going to get the rest of my legendary stuff and get all of the trophies out of the way for that moving forward, and then we'll move back to the main story afterwards. Now, from this new side of Grace in the new area, I'm going to get Legendary Talisman 5 of 8, Old Lord's Talisman. From that side of Grace, just follow this path right here that I'm taking. This talisman's a little tricky. Honestly, I don't think I ever got it on my own the first time either I played the game when I first completed it on Xbox. I believe I had to follow a guide because none of this even seemed remotely familiar to me. But there are a bunch of guys here when you get to this location. Just watch out for them. Obviously, I showed this after killing them all. But after you kill them all, there's going to be this chest all the way to the back in this big room over here. And this is where the legendary talisman is, Old Lord's Talisman. Now, back at the Hail Tree that we're at, I'm going to go to this side of Grace right here and fight this boss. It is story related. Well, not really. It's optional. But in order to get through the Hail Tree, you have to fight this boss. But defeating this boss will unlock my next trophy in the game.
Thank you. Ooh.
Now, Legendary Talisman number 6 of 8, America's Source Seal. This one is, well, you wouldn't really find it unless you really explore really good. But in the Hail Tree, you'll eventually get to this area. You can jump over onto this, like, tower over here. You see that ladder here. As you can see, there's a gigantic enemy that was down there. I defeated him at this point, so I'm doing this after defeating him. But jump down here, run over to where that enemy was. Pick up these legendary stuffy along the way if you want. I mean, they're good. They're useful, trust me. But jump down here again, and you're going to need a stone sword key while you're down here. But also watch out, there are some really hard enemies down here as well, very hard, annoying ones. Use the stone sword key, come in here, and then you can grab the talisman. So from the beginning area where we got the talisman, this is for Legendary Spirit Ash number 6 out of 6, the Clean Rot Knight Finlay. You just kind of follow the path down here to the stairs, jump over the railing to the other platform over here. There are 2 enemies over here, so just kill them very quickly. And in this room, you will find that Legendary Spirit Ash inside of a chest. This is the last one I need, so getting it gets me my trophy for all of them. Then for Legendary Talisman number 7 out of 8, the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. Eventually further into this area in the Hail Tree, you'll get to this area. You'll go through like a sewer system and stuff like that first. After you get out on the other side though, you'll be back in these tree branches. Just follow the path right here that I'm taking up to the roof of the building. You want to jump in this hole in a certain way to land on a certain platform. In other words, you jump too far down. So landing here, there's some enemies down there, but I kill them, I get them out of here first. And as you can see, there's a chest. And inside that chest, you'll find the talisman.
Yeah.
After that, I then return to the main story of the game. I go back to this side of Grace, and then my goal is to go to this circle area over here on the map. Sorry, it's just kind of a still, not a, it's a still, not a video, but still. Go over here to this area. This is what I'm going to run to my next boss in the game, the Beast Clergyman. Yeah, he's one of the most fun / hardest bosses in the game, I think, to fight, but it's his phase 2, which is really, really good. This is when the Beast Clergyman kind of reveals himself to be Malekith. And Malekith is awesome. I mean, I just think the design of him is awesome. Yeah, I just think he's a really badass looking boss. Honestly, in this phase of the fight, he's really, really hard to me, but he's also really, really fun to me. I actually generally enjoy fighting him like this. I enjoy phase 2 way more than phase 1. He's just fun. You have to experience it for yourself, give him a shot, play the game, do it. He's just fun. But eventually, after a few tries, I do defeat him, and it's my next trophy in the game for doing so.
Goodbye. Woo! Bye. Bye.
So starting off at this side of Grace right here, we're going to go for the final legendary talisman in the game, Tree Favor +2. You start from this side of Grace, and you kind of just follow this path here until you get all the way over here back into Lindell. You can only get this talisman after you burn down the Tree, which is after you defeat the fire giants. The only way to get this talisman. So it's not that it's missable, but you have to progress to a certain part in the story in order to unlock it. So anyways, just kind of follow this path here. You're going to get over to the elevator over here, and it's going to take you down to the bottom where the city was. Now, when you get down here, you are going to notice it's kind of like a little bit of a deserty area. Well, it's not really deserty. It's covered in ash from the tree. But as you can see, there's a tree spirit over there. There's actually about 2 or 3 of them down here, and they don't really pop up until you start running around in here. You'll find a talisman located on a giant log here, and grabbing it is my trophy for getting all the talismans. Then I go back to the main story where we're going to run into the next main boss of the game, Godfrey, the First Elven Lord. I just immediately do my Kamehameha beam right at the beginning. That does a pretty good amount of damage to him. From there, he's actually a really good fight, though. I actually think he's really fun, and it's kind of like a dance with him, learning his fight and his patterns and stuff. It's really fun. But halfway through the fight, when you get him to the halfway mark, he goes into phase 2, where he turns into what's known as Horalu, just some gigantic, mean warrior guy that just fucks shit up, man. He's a lot more intense, a little bit harder to fight. Still kind of a fun fight, but a little bit more harder. But for defeating him, gets my next trophy in the game.
Tarnished. Thy strength befits a crown.
Wow.
All right, now that Godfrey is finally defeated, not finally, he's kind of, fun to fight. But anyways, now that he's defeated, I only literally have one boss, well, kind of 2, but one boss fight left in order to complete the main game, get the 3 ending trophies. So from here on out, I'm going to go finish 2 other boss fights that I left kind of to the end, and one of them is the hardest boss in the game, if not one of the harder bosses ever made. So we're going to go do that first before I come back here to finish up the game, finish up the endings, and get that sweet, sweet platinum. Now, before finishing the main story of the game, I then return back to Mohg's palace to fight the actual Mohg, the real one. Unlike the one we fought earlier in the sewers part of Lindell, that one was like a fake one. This is the actual real Mohg. He is kind of fun to fight, but he is very hard, much more aggressive, hits way harder, and has way more health. As you can remember earlier in this video, I grabbed this item right here. This is a very, very, very important item. There's a reason why I grabbed this, and essentially drinking this item, it goes in your physic flask, but essentially drinking this item shuts down one of Mohg's strongest attacks that he has, to where you pretty much die if he does the attack, and you'll know the attack when he does the attack. So make sure you drink your physic flask with this in it before you actually start the fight, to give yourself a much, much greater advantage than you normally would have. But defeating him is my next trophy in the game.
Whew.
I then decided to go fight the hardest boss in the game, Malenia. She's not just considered the hardest boss in this game, but probably the hardest boss, or one of the hardest bosses of all time. And I know this is supposed to be a sorcery only, no summons playthrough, but me and Malenia, well, we kind of have a history back in the day, and she's the only one's bull crap that I don't want to pull up with at all throughout this playthrough. So, not gonna lie, I'll just let myself tell you.
Not gonna lie, Millennia, if you give me a hard time, I'm gonna save you for last, and I'm just gonna respect it to a build bleed and go all in on you, bro, with the Mimic Terror. Okay. Yeah, you're not right. And then she...
Now, after Millennia and failing drastically at her, I returned to this spot where we fought the first Moog in the sewers. Right behind here is an invisible wall they get rid of, and just follow this path here. You're going to get to a parkour section that you have to jump all the way down. I'm not going to speed up this video. This way you guys can watch exactly what I did to get to the bottom of it. But this area is required for one of the 3 ending trophies of the game. So I am setting up this one right here, kind of. Right for now, I'm just getting the Site of Grace that's down here. So we already got one for Ranni's questline being completed, and then one of the endings is just for completing the game itself, just the basic ending. And then what we're setting up here is the bad ending, essentially, for the game. So I'll let you guys just watch it from here on out so you see how I get to the bottom.
I do know this is a pain in the ass. I think I got it on the first try. Wow. I mean, I'll take it. Normally
Now, once the floor breaks and you get to the bottom, there'll be a Site of Grace down here. And as you can notice, all the way down to that hallway is a door. That's, you need to go in there to pretty much activate the bad ending of the game. But I'll show you that in a little bit from now. Just make sure you get the Site of Grace. I then returned to this Site of Grace once again for like the 3rd time this playthrough. I'm going to show you this path right here, but this is to go to like a hidden boss that's located in this area. And fun fact, in my very first playthrough, I just accidentally fell off the map and landed down here. I didn't even mean to go here, and I was like, oh, there's rocks. Let me follow and see where it goes. Which led me to this boss, and I didn't even know that this boss was a boss in the game that I found the very first time I got to it. So, fun little fact there. But, so you go over here, you follow this path, and you lay down right here. It'll give you like an option. And then this boss is awesome. I love the look, the style, the feel of this boss. But I will admit, I struggled on this boss the very first time I ever fought him. He is fun, but he's just very tanky, and he hits really hard. But he's just, I think he's really cool looking now. I like dragons. Dragons are cool. But anyways, yeah, just kind of watch out for his attacks. And once again, he's another one of those kind of bosses where it feels like a dance to fight him. And watch out for this Godzilla attack here. I don't know, that the first time he ever did that to me, it came out of nowhere and he killed me. And it was after like 2 hours of fighting him, and I was like, what the hell? He's Godzilla now? But anyways, defeating him is my next trophy in the game.
Gotcha. Yeah. Thank you for doing that move of all moves, because that gave me enough time to...
I then returned to the Site of Grace located at the Ur Tree from earlier. I'm going to finish the game from here, going on to the final boss. So we're finally in the end game here. Not many trophies left. 3 of them are just for the endings alone. One of them's for Millennia. So not that many left. But from here now you can actually enter the tree and get to the final boss of the game, which is Marika. Well, kind of Marika. It's also Radagon. And if you've been paying attention to the story, they're very instrumental to what's going on in the story. But in this, a twist happens. You kind of find out that Marika and Radagon are one and the same. They share the same body. even though they're supposed to be husband and wife, which is a little weird. And they had a bunch of kids, which is also a little weird. I don't know how you'd explain that to anything that's really going on. Then again, George R. R. Martin wrote this, and, well, he's very particular when it comes to brother and sister things, or husband and wife things, or whatever. Yeah, you know what I mean, if you've ever seen Game of Thrones. Anyways, so we do defeat Radagon here. He's a really fun fight. I do enjoy that fight, but there is a second phase, and there always has to be when it comes to the final bosses of this game. It can't just be a one-on-one, one life bar fight. So the second fight is with the Elden Beast. This whatever creature this is. It's very beautiful, though. It looks like it has a galaxy trapped inside of it. It's a very cool looking design. But a very boring boss fight, in my opinion. He's just really big, really bulky. Kind of swings around with a gigantic sword. Doesn't really do anything extraordinary. I think Radagon is a much more better fight and fun fight. Him, I just kind of do a lot of jump attacks. But defeating him does give me the ability to now get to the endings of the game and choose which endings I want for the last 3 trophies for the endings. But for some reason, there's not an actual trophy for defeating him for some weird reason. Not sure why, but there isn't. Now, for Millennia, I meant it. I'm just going to go into a bleed build and just wreck her because I just not feel like dealing with her. So the first thing I do is go get the weapon, Rivers of Blood. Probably the best blood weapon in the game, and awesome. Then I immediately go and I just fully upgrade it, and I'm talking fully. I then immediately fully upgrade the Mimic tier as well because, you know, screw it, why not? Then I go back to Ranni and I respec, and I pretty much put 99 points into Dexterity and points into Arcane to make the bleed damage really high and the damage on the Rivers of Blood really, really high. Because I wasn't lying when I said that I'm going to go to a bleed build and I'm going to do Mimic tier and I'm just going to go wreck Millennia, because honestly, that's the easiest way to fight her, in my opinion. She just gets wrecked by blood damage. She really can't do anything about it. But yes, I put all my specs into 99 Dexterity. I then go to Millennia and see what the difference is here. It's as you notice, it will be a huge difference. So just watch this. Beating her first phase, of course, there is a second phase, like there is with every one of these damn bosses in this game, especially the harder ones. But her second phase, I think, is really, really cool looking. I think it's very unique, a very unique design. But it's essentially just the same thing as the first phase all over again, except she has a little bit of different attacks where she comes from the air. First thing I kind of do is just kind of jump right at her and continue doing what I was doing. Yeah, so I defeat her really easily, as you can see. Very easily with Blood Build. That is my next trophy for beating her. But as you can see, yeah, that's me right there. Just a pro, you know. But that's my next trophy for defeating her. Yeah! Face of a champion right there. Alright, now that that's out of the way, I can actually work on my next 3 trophies, which is for the endings. Actually, it's the last 3 trophies I need because the 42nd one is the platinum. So this is the trophy for the basic ending. I'm not going to show anything from it. It's just really a really basic ending. I reload the save, and now I choose to do the Ranni ending. This is the ending I actually feel as though is the canon ending of the story. A lot of people, I think, do. Especially since what you have to do for the quest and what the quest shows you from the lore and everything like that. I think this is more of the canon ending. But essentially, in this ending, you marry Ranni. And you guys kind of just rule the kingdom together and stuff like that. Well, that's essentially what I got from the ending. I'm assuming that's what it is. I didn't really look up anything really too deep into it. But essentially, yeah, that's the ending. You know, you take her hand in marriage and you guys rule the kingdom together. So that's my next trophy for that ending. Now for the third ending, I reload the save again. I go back to the site of grace that we unlocked earlier with the giant door where the floor fell out from underneath you and the sewers after defeating Moog. So this is the site of grace that you should have gotten if you got the site of grace down there earlier. Other words, you're going to have to go back to the site of grace from Moog. Once down here, the only way to open the door is to literally take off everything that you have on, so you're completely naked. And now you can open the door. Once inside, you're actually going to discover something a little bit different. Just like how there's the 2 fingers, well, now there's the 3 fingers. And this one's on fire and stuff, and he just does a little bit of you know, touching you, grabbing you, burning you, you know, just the basic kind of Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Miyazaki lore stuff that you see in these games. There's always something with fire, and that always has something to represent with the bad ending of the game. But yeah. Once you choose that ending, though, you go down that path and you get burned. There is no going back. You're locked into that ending. So that's why I saved it to last to reload the save. But then we go and we choose that ending, and that's my next trophy. And then with that trophy, I get my platinum.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there it is. Elden Ring is officially done. Not gonna lie, I absolutely love this game. I'm giving it a score easily 9 out of 10. Absolutely love this game. With that being said, though, like I said in the beginning of this video, this is my 5th playthrough of pretty much doing everything in it. It's a lot. I don't see myself playing Elden Ring ever again, or at least not for a very, 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 very long time. So with that being said, my next video is going to be Elden Ring Night Rain. Anyways, but yeah, so that will be the next video, Elden Ring Night Rain. And then I'll never play Elden Ring again, I promise. Most likely, never again. And, you know. I did absolutely love the trophy list in this game, the achievement list in this game. A lot of DLCs come out for video games, and they add new trophies and achievements, and I actually hate it because I, most of the time, don't want to actually get the DLCs and don't feel like going back to those games and playing them again just to get the trophies or the achievements in those games, so it kind of disappoints me. But this is the one game, and you can ask my wife, anybody can, this is the one game that I begged for there to be new achievements and new trophies for a DLC, for Shadow of the Erdtree, which was an awesome DLC, by the way. It was a phenomenal DLC. And they did not add one new damn thing to it. So I still played it, still played the crap out of it. The only DLC I actually felt like going out of my way to buy and actually really wanted to spend my money on, but was really hoping there was going to be new trophies and achievements for it, and there absolutely wasn't. So it sucks. It's a little sad. I only played through Shadow of the Erdtree once. That, unfortunately, yeah, I'm not playing through that again. I mean, it just takes so long to... You have to beat Radon and you have to beat Moog in order to even start it. And that's just, no. But anyways, if you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that's been watching. Anybody that does watch, thank you so much. Please give me a like. Please give me a subscribe or share. You can follow me over on Instagram, Psychotic Mr. L on there, along with over on Twitch if you want to watch my streams when I stream. But once again, just... absolutely thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. And the next video, like I said, is Elden Ring Night Rain, and it is coming. And I promise you it won't be as long as this video, or definitely the video before this. So yeah, until next time, I'm your host, Psychotic Mr. L. Hi guys, so yes, thank you for watching this video you just watched. If you liked it, if it helped you in any way or whatever, I got these 2 other ones right over here that you can also watch as well, wherever they may be, somewhere on the screen. But yes, thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, absolutely watch these videos as well. Thank you. Bye.